Good day. Welcome to yet another episode of Black Speaks. Today is the 9th of August and we celebrate women in Mzansi. We say Happy Women's Day to all the women of Mzansi, to all our mothers, our sisters, and our daughters. This day is dedicated to you. May you find strength, may you find health, may you find happiness, and may you find fulfillment in all that you do. And also, this day for me marks 20 years of disclosing my status. I started disclosing publicly on the 9th of August 2000. So it marks 20 years exactly to the day that I've been talking to people about my status. So today, I think the topic is a bit is lighter than the other topics. It's the issue of dating. One of the major problems that people have a challenge with when they discover that they're HIV positive. Some people, when you are doing pre-test counseling, would ask you, how then will I date if the results come back positive? So it's an issue for many people, and an issue that if the results come back positive, will my boyfriend or my girlfriend accept me? Will they still want to be with me? Will they support me? Are we going to have sex, and are we going to have children? If we have children, are they going to be negative or positive? So I think it's a main issue that we need to tackle at the end of the day. I won't lie and say I had a challenge with dating. Yes, there were one or two incidences, but they are not as significant for me as other people have faced. Even when we started doing the traveling back at Napwa to conduct support groups, to establish branches of Napwa, throughout the country. One of the things that I didn't have a problem with was dating, which made me promiscuous. Okay, I was already promiscuous even before I got HIV, but my levels of promiscuity, if there's anything like that, rose because it was easy. It was easy. Remember, with support groups back then, you would find that mostly people that were members of support groups were women, and men who were part of the support groups. A lot of them were not comfortable with disclosing their statuses publicly, so they were still not in denial. They'd accepted, but they were not ready to disclose. So the few of us who disclosed, we we kind of became hot stock, if I can put it like that. You would go to Northwest, you'd go to Eastern Cape. We became known throughout the country. As we traveled, and I think because we were young, some of us were young. I was one of the youngest, if I remember well. And being young and looking good, not bad in terms of looks, not bad in terms of my physique and structure. So, and being a charmer, and the character that I have of talking to almost everybody, openly and freely, being nice, it meant that people would always be drawn to me, and I used that to my advantage. And because fewer people understood what it meant to be in a relationship with someone who was HIV positive, so women found it easier to date another guy who's HIV positive than if they wanted to be open and disclose that they're HIV positive, than going out and dating somebody who was negative, where they would have to start by educating this person on HIV and disclosing, not knowing whether this person is going to accept them or not. So with me, it was easy, or with us who were disclosing, it was easy. You would just the person would already know as you're pursuing her that you're HIV positive, and they would disclose easily. And because we all want to be loved, so you would find that we exploited that need that some of the women had of wanting love, of needing that love and that acceptance. Something that I'm not proud of, and which I apologize for to everybody that I had during those days. So I will speak around some of the funny incidents that happened. I remember back at Eastern Cape Technicon, during one of the campaigns, testing campaigns that we had, and some of the young girls who had come for HIV education and testing, or for VCT. We called it VCT back then. So some of the ladies who had come, where they didn't believe that I was HIV positive. And one of the reasons they put forward was that I didn't look like I was HIV positive. I looked healthy, didn't have bad skin or didn't have any skin condition. I had dreadlocks back then, and I was a charmer. I used to go partying. I drank. I just lived my life, my life normally. So that on its own, because I was living my life normally and doing everything that other guys were doing, it to them that meant no, 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 this guy can't be HIV positive. And the fact that I was talking about it so freely and casually, to them it again pointed to someone who was like, no, this guy, yes, Shaya, he's not HIV positive. He's just here to work. And because he works with in the clinic or a health center and doing HIV talks, he felt that he needs to just lie to us and say he's HIV positive. So one of the tests, the campaigns that we did, I had a few ladies who were saying to me, "We want you to test. We are going to test if you test." And I think one or two of them were saying, if the results come back positive, then you can choose whoever you want to date, you know. So it was just fun and games for them, and I exploited that as well. So I would test, just to prove to them that I was HIV positive, and they would say, so if you can live your life as freely and normally as you do, so HIV must that it doesn't kill, or we don't mind also having testing, and we don't mind even dating you for that matter, because there's nothing that says you're HIV positive. So because they didn't believe me, and I became popular because of the kind of work that I was doing. I was a health promoter, so I became popular because of the kind of work that I was doing. Young, yes. Handsome, yes. Health promoter. So every workshop, I would have numbers. Students who had told each other that no, there's this guy, and this guy is HIV positive. They would want to come and see for themselves, and I would just be sitting there, having fun. I would be having fun with them. So my popularity with the students and workers, I think, fooled me into believing that I could do whatever I wanted to do. So yeah, I took advantage of such situations. Even when I changed from that technicon to another to do the same job, still even there, I had, I became popular. I was known, and I I didn't have a problem. I didn't have a challenge with dating. I was dating whoever I wanted to date, whether they were HIV negative or HIV positive, workers, students, you name it. I was there, and I think back that time in East London, uh, I also did a lot of club scene. I was you know at the club almost every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and I had fun. I was popular. I had fun. I just became a different version of me. I was just out there, been Papa basically, and Papa, and being in and attending parties, being known, being seen with people that were popular then. Yandenzela, it gave me this chip on my shoulder that what, I was the man. Um, I could get any girl that I wanted. I regret I regret that. I regret that time. I regret being that person. Yes, it's my life, it's my past. I cannot run away from, and there's nothing that I can do to change it, to change how I behaved back then. So I think again, I did have, as I said, one or two people who would be scared of being in a relationship with me. Strange enough, they were not. You know, some of them would love me enough to be with me, but what scared them was intimacy. And I was gentle. I used to say to people, take your time. I'm not here. I'm not running away. I'm not in any hurry. Take your time. When you're ready, we are going to get intimate. If you don't become ready, then it's fine with me. I could say things that they wanted to hear. People wanted to hear. Remember, I said I was a charmer back then. I had a smooth tongue. I did things that some of the women wanted me to do. What they were longing for. So yeah, there's this lady, when I was in PE, and we remain friends beyond that. Back then I we were in love, and the only challenge that we had was intimacy. We would spend time together. We would, movies. She would come over to my place. I would go to her place. We would chill. I would sleep over, or sometimes I would just stay there the half the night and go home. We would kiss. We would do almost everything except sex. She was scared. She was scared of intimacy. She was scared of having sex with me. And I understand. I understood even then. And I told her that, you know what, I understand. I understand you're scared. I understand you you might have whatever information or whatever reason that makes you to be scared to be intimate, even though we're going to use protection. And at times, like, back then she didn't say she was scared. It was like, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. She only disclosed that she was scared later on, when we had already moved on and we were dating different people. And I think she had at that time educated herself much more about HIV. So we were having a conversation, and she just said it. You know what? I was scared. I was scared of being infected. Um, so I understood. I think it was one of those two people that just maybe perhaps there were more people that decided they were not gonna be in a relationship with me because of my status. But as I said, of the ones that I dated, that I went out with, only one or two. I can't remember more than two who became scared and we didn't go all the way. So maybe some of the others who were scared are the ones who just decided no, we are not gonna have a relationship. We're not gonna date at all because I can't be intimate with this guy. You never know. So as I say again, the second one was a person that I thought we were gonna have a future with, and one of the things that she said, which really disturbed me when we were having a fight, was that she was doing me a favor by dating me, because she's HIV negative and I'm HIV positive. Nobody would want to date me. That that disturbed me. I remember calling Sister Tembi and sharing the news with her that this lady had said this, and that was the first time I really felt hurt that somebody thought that by being in a relationship with me they were making me a favor, they were doing me a huge favor, that nobody else wanted me. I then set out to prove her wrong, that I could have people, I could have girlfriends. She was not doing me any favor. Um, and again, I went back to my promiscuous ways, just to prove her wrong, And again, I say I regret doing that. I shouldn't have. Now came the time when I had to. Oh, where I met my wife, and I remember even with her I disclosed. We were chatting on Facebook. I disclosed to her, even before I saw her. I disclosed that I was HIV positive, and she didn't have a problem with that. Um, by that time, I was already on treatment. By the time I met her, so I knew that. Okay, at that time we didn't know that if you are undetectable, then you can't transmit the virus to the next person. But she was there for me. She was supportive. She accepted me for who I was, and after after that, we started talking about family. When I think after I had made my intentions clear that I wanted to get married, we started talking about family. Oh yes, she was adamant she didn't want to get married, and she wasn't sure about having kids. Um, I won't lie and say we planned our firstborn. No, we didn't plan our firstborn, and she we didn't plan our firstborn, and when she fell pregnant, um, it was a problem for me. Had I that I had met somebody pregnant, I was worried. I was worried about infection. I was worried about the child. I was worried about a lot of things, but I'm gonna talk about that in the next video. The challenges that I faced in terms of children now. But generally, as I said, I never had a problem But most people have challenges. Even when I talk to people today, I talk to them and they mention the issue of dating. The stigma is still there. The discrimination is still there. The rejection is still there. So I talk to people and they mention how how scared are they that their partners are going to reject them. I also talk to people, couples who are in discordant relationships where the other couple is negative and the other one is positive, and you find the ones that are negative asking questions around issues of reproduction, and you find the ones who are, or if the couples have just discovered that one is positive and one is negative, you find that the other one is worried about being left by the negative partner. So yes, I don't have much stories around dating the way I would say I was rejected, but I I felt it was necessary for us to have a conversation to talk about the fact that some people find it difficult to disclose. Most people ask me when is the right time to disclose to your partner, and at first I would say the right time is when it is before you start dating your partner. It's before you start the relationship. But I realized that I was giving advice based on how I've done things, not the practicality of it. Yes, ideally that would be nice, to disclose before, so that when the person decides to date you, they do so knowing fully what's going on. But also, you don't get attached to a person who will run away as soon as they know your status. But to answer the question of when is the right time, I would say the right time for you to disclose to your partner or to a prospective partner is when you are comfortable disclosing to them. If you are not comfortable, if you're not ready, do not disclose, because it means you are not ready to hear or a different response, or you are not ready to live through a different response. So do not yes, you disclose because you are hoping that the person is going to be supportive, the person is going to accept you. But the reality is that even after so many years of living with HIV in our communities, there are people who are still scared of the virus. There are people who still say they would never date somebody who's HIV positive. So when you disclose knowing fully that the person might be scared. The person might leave you, the person might reject you, the person might not support you. So this is the reason why I'm saying when you disclose because you are ready, because you want to disclose. Yes, it becomes a challenge in relationships where you'll find that a person is scared. What happens if the condom breaks? I advise people that make sure that your virus is undetectable, so that even in that event where a condom breaks, chances of you infecting the other person are very slim, or close to none. Others ask if then the person says let's go test, and I say if that conversation comes up that you must go test, then maybe that's when you can consider disclosing. But still, um, it's a personal choice. It's a choice that you make after you have observed the type of person that you are dating. It's a choice that you make after you have observed how this person relates or interacts with HIV positive people around him or her, but also what kind of conversations does this person have, and what does this person say about people who are living with HIV. So if you want to disclose to your partner, better be ready and talk to your counselor to equip you with ways of disclosing. And sometimes you also want to have this person or this counselor close by, so that they can be able to debrief you after you've disclosed. So yeah, that's all we have today. I would say, guys, also one of the reasons why you find that today I'm a bit heavish. Um, I have lost two of my one of my friends, basically. Another person is someone that I know, that we were close, but I lost a friend yesterday to COVID, so that's why I am not in the best of spirits. So if I sound serious or I sound heavy, it's not because of the topic, but it's because of what I had what I had, which I still have to deal with. Which brings me to another message that says, guys, please take good care of yourselves, take good care of your health. If you have to go out of your house, do so under use protection. Protect yourself. Protect yourself at all times. Do not go out of your house if it's not necessary for you to do so. Do not invite people into your house. Make sure that you limit exposure to your kids, to yourself, to your partner, and make sure that you keep safe at all times. Yeah, I promise, next video I'll be my usual self. I'll be my live self. But I couldn't just let this day pass by, since I said it marks 20 days of me disclosing publicly. So I felt that there was a need. Hence, I didn't do it yesterday, as I do these videos on Saturdays. I couldn't do it yesterday because of I wanted it to happen today, and unfortunately, as I was waiting, the news of the bereavement came through. So thank you, and please do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to share the video with your friends, and make sure that they also subscribe. Thank you very much. God bless.